Prescott started years ago, about 2006. There were a group of us that were involved in a homeless coalition here. And we all had the same stories. Every time a woman called and was in crisis and was homeless and sleeping in her car with her children, there was no place for them to go. And then one day we heard a story about this woman who not only didn't have a place to stay, but she also didn't have a car and was put out on the street. And someone told her there was a shelter, a family shelter in Flagstaff, and she and her children were walking up the highway trying to make it to Flagstaff, and she was arrested for it, and her children, they were being investigated for child neglect. But at that point, there was nothing for her. She was doing the only thing she knew she could do. That story motivated us all to just put our fists on the table and say, that's it. This is not going to continue.
My husband was doing property maintenance, and a lot of the companies that he was working for, it wasn't really a stable type of job. They let him go, and we also lost our home because of it as well. And we didn't really have anywhere else to go. I looked online and I found the shelter, and I didn't know if they had a family shelter or not, and I was just so relieved to find out that there was a family shelter in this area. I couldn't imagine our family being split up.
What we do is we bring them in, we offer them compassion, support, a community in which to recover. Well, the grant from ACF Yavapai County initially was to help us with transitioning people from the shelter into their homes.
We helped 8 families and 4 individuals, and that was kind of the beginning of it. But it worked so well, and it made our transition rate go up 10%.
We would have been trying to make it in a motel with very little money. We might have even had to sleep in our truck.
There's a huge barrier because of the cost of housing and having to have first, last security. There's not too many of us that could come up with that amount of money overnight, and expecting these people to, within a time frame which was reasonable, with people on a waiting list trying to come in here that are homeless. So now we have an account, thanks to the foundation, where we can help people with that first and security, whatever they need. And then within a few months of them being stable and employed, they start to pay us back monthly. So that account is revolving.
We hope to stay forever and be a permanent thing in the community for everyone, and that was a huge step for us. We wouldn't have gotten there anytime soon without the help of ACF.
So it's always a blessing to know that we're fulfilling our mission, but it's also very sad because there are times when there are 15 women and children and also up to 5 or 6 families on our waiting list. And that to us is still a tragedy.
Well, I guess if the shelter wasn't so helpful and open, I don't know what we would have done.